If you don't get to the energetic root of why something is happening, it will 100% manifest into a physical ailment. So, if you already have some type of physical ailment, you need to work backwards and figure out what is it that energetically caused this thing to manifest. Welcome back to the Healing Hotline. I'm your host, Jessica Trambarker. Today we're going to be talking about how I accidentally manifested acne and how you probably have manifested something on your body accidentally and how we can avoid that, because we're not doing that shit no more. Once we become aware of an issue, we fix it and we move on. Okay, end the cycle. That's what we do over here. That is the Healing Hotline. So I'm going to use past tense because your words really do matter. I had been dealing with very painful cystic acne. Like, it was painful to eat. It was painful to sleep on my side. Being a side sleeper, that shit, I couldn't even sleep on my side, bro. When I would smile, a fucking pimple would pop. Oh my gosh, it was, I have never dealt with that, and my face was so dry, so it was constantly like itching, and I'd constantly want to touch my skin, which was just making shit worse. Why? Because, not only from like a scientific, physical standpoint where like you're obviously putting more germs on your face, but to the energetic, from the energetic standpoint, it was the fact that I was hyperfixating on that. So the universe had no choice but to be like, oh, you say you have acne. Well, let's give you more acne. And it's crazy as fuck because there are videos of me saying that I was dealing with cystic acne and I had maybe 5, maybe less spots. And I'm just like, wow. And I've done this before. This isn't the first time that I've done this. I've dealt with this before, but here's the thing. It's not about how did this happen? Like, what did I eat? I've changed my diet. I've done all the external things. I've changed all the products. It's not about that. It's about the energetic reason as to why this shit is happening. And being real with yourself. So I looked up what is the spiritual meaning of acne, and it's anger, irritation. I forgot something else, but I think it's basically what stuck out to me was the anger and the irritation, because earlier this year I posted a TikTok where I was basically breaking down and saying that I was having really bad thoughts about my dog, and basically I was really overwhelmed. I just had a baby and it felt like it was a lot for me, and I didn't know how to communicate that to anybody. And when I made the video on TikTok, it didn't really seem like people understood me. So it just kind of closed me back up. And I bottled it all in. I didn't really tell anybody what was going on in my head, where I was really just wishing that I didn't have a dog, which is really fucked up. But that's the reality of what was happening, because it just felt like it was just so much, and it really wasn't. And that's the part where I couldn't communicate it to anybody, because they'll be like, bro, you're tripping. And I knew I was tripping, but it was this weird mental state where I knew that I didn't really feel this way, but then I couldn't stop feeling this way, and all this anger was just getting bottled up inside of me. And what happened? My face started breaking out. When you either act on your anger or you hold it in, you don't get that shit out of your body, it's gonna have no choice but to manifest through some type of physical ailment. Now, acne is not the only way that these things can manifest. There's so many different ways. There's somebody that I know right now that they are experiencing, their jaw is locking, and I see them now and I'm like, damn, they're literally losing weight because they cannot eat their food because it hurts when they eat. So it's like eating isn't even enjoyable for them. This person vented to me and my husband one time, and they were just basically like, let it all out. And they need to say that to these people. Not just venting to people is gonna make that shit go away. And if you look it up, the spiritual meaning of a locked jaw is like you really needing to say some shit and you're holding that shit back so fucking bad, and stress because of that. You're stressed because you're constantly holding your shit in. These things manifest in different ways, and it's so important to find the energetic root of it. I'm not saying at all to dismiss the medical explanation of it or the scientific explanation of it. All of these things go hand in hand, but you cannot skip the energetic reason. If you can honestly get to the energetic reason, all of the other stuff is gonna fall into place. The medical, the scientific, all the shit, all the other shit is gonna come into place. Like, you're gonna find the scientific reason as to why these things happened. You're gonna find the the medical version of certain supplements that you can take for this thing or whatever it is. It's gonna be different for everybody, obviously, but if you can find the energetic root of it, all the other dominoes are just gonna fall into place. So that's why I do what I do. That's why I am so focused on healing, because I see now what happens when you kind of like ignore it. And I was just trying to pretend like these thoughts weren't happening and not talking about it. And I had to realize that it wasn't just about me, because yes, like I felt like I wish that my dog wasn't here, but a lot of people wish that they weren't here. Like, that's how it manifests for them. So for me not to speak on it and to just sweep it under the rug, I feel like it's really unfair to the people that actually did hear me. And not everybody's gonna put their business out there and say, oh yeah, I definitely resonate with that, I had suicidal thoughts. Like, they're not gonna fucking say that. Let's be so fucking real, you know what I mean? So even if people aren't loud, I still gotta fucking share, because they're listening, and I'm meant to change those people's lives as well, you know what I mean? So I felt like I was just doing an injustice to everybody by not sharing. I think for me, it was really, what I really had to do was like face myself and be like, dude, like, this isn't that big of a deal. And like, even the universe was sending me signs. The universe was literally sending me videos of dogs that were really fucking bad, like doing terrible fucking shit. And I'm like looking at my dog and I'm like, oh, she's just asleep. Like, she don't do shit, you know what I mean? So I feel like, I don't know, it had something had a hold on me. And if you want to do the brujeria version explanation of it, maybe it was some type of brujeria. Damn, whole time it had to have. I'm literally twirling a piece of hair through my fingers randomly, and I feel like that's hella confirmation, like, if that. But here's the thing about brujeria that I really have realized. I used to be really afraid of it, and I feel like once you know how this shit works, you really realize, like, damn, I could take my power back so easily. And if I were to just submit to the idea that, oh, my face is breaking out because people are, doing shit to me, sending me negative energy or whatever, I make that my reality. And if I can create any reality that I want, why the fuck would that be the reality that I choose? I choose to believe that this is happening because of a spiritual reason, and I need to face my fucking anger and not let myself get so upset with my fucking dog. And that actually makes a little bit more fucking sense to me. Also, I take this as a sign of major transformation, because every other time that I've had some major transformation in my life, I have dealt with acne, so that's the reality that I choose to create. And that's how you take your fucking power back. Like, That's literally it. It's really that simple, because black magic is literally just fear. So if a person makes you think that they did black magic to you, they did black magic to you just like that. Like you confirmed it right then and there, because that's all it is fear. They made you afraid. It worked. That's it. Shit, you might have even spelled your fucking self. You know what I mean? So like, that's what the fuck I had to realize, was like, damn, like, it's that easy to take my power back and be like, no, that's not why this is happening. And unless the bitch come forward and say, I've been doing this shit to you, that's how my fucking reality is gonna be. It's what I say it is. And even then, I'm gonna be like, well, that's fucking stupid. Because my life is actually going pretty fucking good. Also, like, part of me has been really wanting to like just fucking hide, because I was dealing with acne, and I feel like I had to show up for people that do have acne, because like, you don't need to fucking hide. Acne can happen to anybody. Nobody is exempt. My parents had really good fucking skin. They don't really deal with no fucking breakouts like that. Definitely nothing cystic. It can happen to anybody. It's a hormonal imbalance, aka your emotions are imbalanced. And it can manifest, like I said, in any other way. You don't express yourself, your jaw might fucking lock on you. Even when I don't express myself, right now I have a swollen, I had a swollen lymph node, and that usually comes every so often when I really need to speak up about something. I'm hoping that this is it. I don't know. I always take it as a throat chakra upgrade. There's 7 chakras within our physical body. There's more, but I haven't gotten into those yet. I'm gonna be honest. The 7 is a lot as is, so baby steps. Anyways, so there's 7 chakras. Each of them deals with different parts of the body, different emotions, different things like that. Whatever part of the body you're having some sort of problem with, you can look into what chakra that has to deal with. You have to go within, figure out what it is. So I looked up the spiritual meaning of acne, and I also looked up the spiritual meaning of a locked jaw. So whatever it is that you're dealing with, you can look that up. I need to also look up the spiritual meaning of a swollen lymph node, but I'm pretty sure it has to do with, expressing yourself. But it doesn't hurt to look it up, At this point, when you look this thing up, you have to be real with yourself. Like, I had to be real with myself and say, I do have this anger that needs to be dealt with, and you really have to deal with it, because you see now that it's more serious than just, oh, I'm just healing and I'm trying to become a better person. Like, yeah, if you ignore it, it's gonna take a toll on your physical health. Like, that shit's pretty fucking serious. So if you got some fucking anger issues that you need to deal with, or you feel really depressed and all these other things, like, it's time to get to the root of why it is that you feel the way that you feel. Get to the root, end the cycle, move on with your life. That's all. It's gonna take some work. It's gonna take a lot of discipline. It's simple, but it's not easy. So just to know that. But it's 100,000% worth it. The glow up is worth it. That's what I tell myself every time I'm like picking at my skin. I'm like, no, the glow up is worth it. That is all for today's episode. I hope that you got some healing from this. I hope that I encouraged you to really take your healing journey seriously, because it's definitely worth it, not just on an emotional level, but even a physical level. I will see you guys next Sunday for another episode of the Healing Hotline. This is Jessica Trambarger signing out.